night, the Academy Awards. And my next guest, and you hear him all the time on the show, Joe Fortunato, had quite a party last night. It was his annual Oscar party. He made his predictions, and he was pretty good. And let's bring him in, film study professor Joe Fortunato. And Joe, it was an Oppenheimer kind of evening last night.
Yes, it was. Good morning, Ray. Good morning, everybody. And just as we kind of predicted last week, it was an Oppenheimer. That's a good phrase. Let's coin that. An Oppenheimer juggernaut, and pretty much kept the way I predicted it would. The big surprise of the night was actually nothing to do with Oppenheimer. It was Emma Stone winning for Best Actress over Lily Gladstone, which all indication was that Lily was going to win that. So by that token, it was a bit of surprise that Emma Stone won, but not necessarily surprising in the performance. It's a terrific performance. There was a lot of groundswell in favor to her in recent months. So a surprise, but not a surprise, I guess I should say. Although it did cost me one vote on my Oscar poll.
Joe, were you surprised that Barbie, for as much success as this movie had in 2023, just got one Oscar last night?
Yeah, I wasn't really surprised. I kind of wish that it would have gotten a little bit more love, because I do think it was not only the most popular movie of the year, but I do think it was well done and had something to say. I thought it might have gotten the best screenplay, but that went to American Fiction, which is actually what I voted for in the Writers Guild, which I am a member and vote for that, and I picked it on my Oscar pool. So, I wasn't surprised that American Fiction won that, and I thought Barbie might have gotten that. And, of course, it only won one for Best Song.
With us is Joe Fortunato, film study professor, kind of going over the Oscars from last night. Anything grab you besides the Emma Stone thing that maybe you were not anticipating, Joe?
Well, not necessarily in terms of the competition or the competitive awards, but I thought it was a really well-done show last night, and maybe one of the best Oscar broadcasts in recent years. It was Kimmel was really good. He's so amiable, and he hit a couple of rocky points in his monologue, but I thought he landed it, and I thought he did a really good job keeping it breezy the whole night. I thought a lot of the bits were funny. The John Cena moments where they paid homage to the 50th anniversary of the Streaker was probably the highlight of the night, and he's just a delight and so funny to watch. And Robert Downey Jr.'s speech was really nice. The I'm Just Ken performance was really well done. So I thought that, and I also liked how, I know there's a little bit of controversy on this, but I did like how they, for the acting categories, they brought in sort of the Hall of Heroes, if you will, of having 5 previous winners introduce the new nominees. I kind of like that.
Joe Fortunato, film study professor. Joe, we mentioned that Oppenheimer had, 13 nominations. They won 7, including Best Picture. When you look at the pictures and the nominations this year, was it a strong field, weak field, middle of the road? How would you term it?
I think it's a very strong field. I mean, all 10 of those Best Picture nominees were really good films, either all around or in one particular way or another. So I don't have any issue with it was a tough year for Hollywood. We had the 2 strikes and dealing with things like that. So it was nice to sort of come back strong and cap it with the Oscars. The one thing I don't like, and I'm just going to go with my pet peeve on this, is actually this is kind of all award shows anymore, so I don't know why they're copying each other negatively. But the In Memoriam segment, which for me is one of the highlights of every award show, the highlights of the evening, and I think important to honor those who have passed in the year, they just keep botching it by not focusing on the honorees. They bury them in the back. They don't put them on a full screen so you can see them. We don't really need to see performers and dancers. That's all well and good, but I want to see the people who are being honored, and I'm going to keep waving that flag until something changes.
Like it. Joe, thanks for squeezing us in. I know you're real busy this morning. We'll reconnect Friday. Thanks for the recap, my friend. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks, Ray. We'll see you then.
You got it, Joe Fortunato, film study professor. He joins us as we go to film school each and every Friday morning here on the Ray Horner Morning Show, 93.5, 1590 WAKR.